Twisted VR.
Hi, this is Twisted VR and this is Twisted Tuesday. Now, as you know, we're pretty much a game station. We tend to deal a lot with VR and ins and outs and everything else. Xbox, cardboard, pretty much anything VR wise or game wise we'll have a look at and we'll review. However, this is Twisted Tuesday and it is going to be something different. And today it's going to be about the Mayflower and the finding of the Mayflower. Now, to most of my American audience, they'll know what the Mayflower ship was. It was the ship that sailed from England to America, which is why we have Thanksgiving, because when the Pilgrim's Fathers landed and the Indians came along and obviously gave them food, they celebrate Thanksgiving for it. So I thought, well, let's have a look at the Mayflower ship. And on some of the research I found, the Mayflower has been actually found in England, surprisingly enough. I'm not sure if any of you know, but if you go through the archives of history, it was originally sold at the end of its voyage for about £128, and it's rumoured that it was actually used for scrap. However, if you go to a little place just outside London, they've got a barn there, and they claim that their barn roof is made from the timbers or is the hull of the Mayflower. And in fact they make quite a good business out of doing so. They have wedding receptions, blah blah blah, and quite a few Americans come over to England to have a look at what they think is the Mayflower. Unfortunately it's not. A little bit of history for you guys. As you're probably aware, in 1620 the Mayflower sailed for the Americas. At the same time it had another ship in transit with it called the Speedwell. Now, it depends on what history you look at, and history is a very strange thing. However, it is rumoured that the original Pilgrim Fathers were on the Speedwell. The Speedwell was sailing out to sea, decided they didn't want to go to the Americas, and so they basically put a hole in the side of the boat so that it was unfit for sailing. The members of the ship then, which were the Pilgrim Fathers, were moved off of the ship and moved to the Mayflower. And the Mayflower set sail for the Americas, where it landed, and history's where it is. Now this is where it becomes interesting. About, I believe, 8 years ago now, there was a psychic team called PIRT, Paranormal Investigation Research Team, and they were working in Gloucester, and the medium at the time, TGL, I believe it was abbreviated to the Golden Light, walked into a particular pub in Gloucester called the Bell Inn. Excuse me, a bit of a cough going down here. Anyway, he walked into the pub, had a look around, and all he was heard to keep saying was Pilgrim Fathers, the Pilgrims, the founding fathers, I think is the word that he actually used. Oh, nearly fell off my chair. Anyway, so he was walking around the pub, said that that he felt that it was connected with the Pilgrim Fathers or the founding fathers. He believed that the building was connected with the Mayflower. He believed that the owners had some insight into it, and that the family who lived in that particular house, or allegedly lived in that house, had lost something quite valuable to them. Anyway, things go on. This went on for on, and there's a whole dossier on the internet, so if you care to look you'll probably find it. Cut long story short, they'd done the research. His team of, I think there was about 10 people there. One of them was a young lady called Nikki Lynch, and they'd basically done the research. When questioned about losing something of value, it turns out that first of all, the owner of the building originally was the Berkeleys. Now the Berkeleys were connected with the London Company, and it's the London Company who sent over the Speedwell and the Mayflower. It's also there's a coat of arms in the pub, connected to a fireplace, which after doing the research shows is the Berkeleys. Doing this research on the Berkeleys, they found out that about, I can't tell you the year now, I'll be honest with you, I've forgotten, and it'll come to me. But anyway, they've done some research on the Berkeleys, and they found out that the Berkeleys actually lost what's called a silver plate. The silver plate is a plate that in the old days, because obviously once you married into a different family, you would take part of their coat of arms. So what they had was they had a plate, and on this plate round the outside, a bit like a trophy, every time you married into a family, you would actually etch their coat of arms onto it. So then you get an amalgamation of coat of arms. So what actually happened to this story is that basically they were actually in trouble, the Berkeleys. They sent the servant off to the house with the plate. He goes into the woods. He hears some people following him, so he buries the plate. He's caught by these other people. They shoot him dead, and therefore this plate of arms was lost, and to this day has never been found. So that's the Berkeleys. Now, carrying on from that, is that the Berkeleys had a major issue with the king at the time because of taxations on the ships. If a ship went out, they were taxed, and they were getting so cheesed off with this that what actually happened, and from what this psychic detective TGL said, is that the owners, or the Berkeleys, they purchased the Mayflower, they had it disassembled, moved onto land, and literally put as a building. And of course the interesting thing was there would be no taxation on it because it's a building on land, so you can't be taxed for building on land, can you? So this is what they did. They had the ship moved from the sea, moved onto land, and they literally moved into it. This also matches up with a lot of information that the TGL came up with. So the understanding is that the building, the Mayflower, is a pub called the Bell Inn in Gloucester. It's in Gloucester town centre on the square. If you take a look at the building, and I'll try and see if I can get some pictures up for you, you'll see that there's a distinct connection or look of the Mayflower to this particular building. Now, you would think, well, that'd be it, that's fine, no problem. However, TGL went a little bit further than that. What he did was he actually had the building dendrodated because it's a wooden building. So he had it dendrodated. On the dendrodating, they turned around and said, although they couldn't 100% dendrodate it because the wood was so riddled with salt, that they believe that the people who were doing the dendrodating at the time said that it's clearly been a building that's been at sea. It's made from wood from a ship because of the amount of saturation of salt. So it had to be it. And on the dendrodating, although they couldn't accurately give you a date, they calculated it would be about 1500 and something odd. Now if you look at the age of the Mayflower before it sailed, it was an old ship in 1620. So that sort of coincides. So if anybody's interested and they want to know the where the Mayflower is, it's in Gloucester, it's the Bell Inn, and do your own research, have a look. You will see that it's pretty true, to be honest with you. I've had a look, I've done some research on it myself, and the guy seems pretty spot on. I mean, he has been tested. I mean, I like psychic stuff myself, I'll be honest. But he has been tested, and from what I can gather, he was proven that he has some form of ability. Whether or not how accurate he is another matter, but there seems to be nothing bad about him out there, and his accuracy is pretty good, so we'll have to take him on his word for it. But I always thought it was interesting finding that on a Twisted Tuesday, the Mayflower is in England, alive and well, and living in Gloucester. Have a look on the internet, do your research, go and look up the old Bell Inn in Gloucester, have a look at the Mayflower ship. I'll see if I can put some pictures up at the end of this video to see if it can be done. But there we go, guys. This has been Otonka. This is Twisted Tuesday, and we will be bringing you different videos each month. Some psychic, some basic news, some comedy, regardless. But it's going to be different. Tuesdays are no longer game days. They will be something completely unique and different for us. So until next time, guys, enjoy yourself, have fun, and laters.
VR.